needs their money. Big Tits is avoiding me. And Jake comes up and says, Herb, you're going to have to take one for the team. This started in 2009. Right around January, pretty close to February, I started this band called Highway 30. My cousin Mitch was the bass player, and we met up with this guy that ran all the Pond Ones from Boise to Meridian, Napa, and Caldwell. But his name is Jake, and he played drums. And he started playing drums with us. We had another friend that worked at the Caldwell Pond One. His name is Hennessy. And he ran sound, and he got to know a lot of musicians around the area. Well, we played, some of the smaller areas from Fruitland to Homedale and Payette as well. And we also played the Idaho Center. But we're still trying to get out there. Anybody that knows about starting a band and trying to get yourself out there knows how rough it can be. My cousin Mitch and his girlfriend Shauna, they referred to this place called Reno's. And it's in Parma. Well, Reno's had this manager. I don't want to refer her name, but we called her Big Tits. And, well, think about it, she had some big tits. But she's crazy. And she lived down on this place on Apple Valley Road. And at that time, I was also working with my uncle, burning ditch and stuff like that, and doing stuff out there, helping him ride, picking weeds out of the canal. And we would go down toward Apple Valley. And you're going to meet some real interesting people. Actually, we found a guy out there, his name was Spaceman. Well, he never been to space, but he was really out there. But we decided, okay, we'll play. We'll play at Reno's this week, because we have nothing else going. So, Hennessy's there, and he's helping us run sound and set up for that night. And we're kind of butting heads, because we can't get quite the sound I want out of my guitar amp. And finally, we get it to work. I was like, let's just quit stressing and let's make this work. Well, we have a crowd there, and it's going good, and everybody's having fun. A fourth set goes around now. And the band's like, hey, Herb, did you ever get our money for us? And I'm looking around, and Big Tits is avoiding me. And I said, I'll get it. I'll get it. Trust me. So I go back after we're finished, and they're starting to set up take and break down all their equipment. And I'm looking for Big Tits, and she's avoiding me. And I come back to the stage, and Jake's like, no money, huh? He's like, Herb, we're all in relationships, and you're single. Put two and two together. You know where he's going with this. You know what you're going to have to do? Herb, you're going to have to take one for the team. And I'm like, oh, why now? They decide to leave, and they trust me to get their money. And Big Tits finally comes back around, and it's just me and her at the bar. And she's like, I'm feeling hungry. I want to go out to eat. Well, there's no place to eat in Parma. It's a little small town. It's like maybe 2,000 people live there. And she wants to go to Caldwell. So we go up there, and we go to a Jack in the Box. And now it's like, 3:30 in the morning. And we get something to eat. She's telling me all these stories. And she's like, I want to get you some 8-inch high heels. And I want to make you my boy toy and all this stuff. And I'm like, God, I wish I could get out of this. And we get back to her place. And I'm still trying to figure out a way to get our cash. And she shows me her living room and all the stuff she's got there and her trinkets and stuff. And she has this dog. It's a dingo dog. And it's very controlling and very protective. Well, she says, oh, and here's my master bedroom. She starts taking her clothes off. And I take my pants off. I get stripped down all the way to my underwear. And I hop in bed with her. Next thing you know, I know where this is going. And I'm just like, maybe I'll sell a guitar or something at this point. Anything I can do at this point to get the cash. She grabs my hand, puts it right on her ass. So I'm in survival mode. Think of something. Think of a way to get out of here. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and now she's moving her hand right a little down south there to old Beaver Town. Bam! I gotta work today. I'm sorry, I forgot I have to work today. And she's like, what? It's Saturday. And I'm like, I have to help my uncle. You know, we've got stuff to do on the ditch bank. And she's kind of calling bullshit on me, and I'm like scooting out of bed, and I'm in my underwear, and I'm scooting out, I'm like trying to get out of there, and that dog starts showing his teeth to me, and he puts his nose right up to my crotch, and I'm like in standing guard, like I was trying to stay still for my life, frozen dead still. She's like, are you gonna come back? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be back, but I'm gonna need some of that band money. And she's like, well, I'll give you half now, and then you just come back for the rest later. And luckily, she got her dog to calm down, and he got his nose off my crotch, and I just feel the sense of relief at that moment. But she gives me part of the money, and I get out of there, and I'm like, I'm free. And I had to call, well, I didn't have to work that day, obviously, but I went up to Pond 1, and Jake was working, and Jake looks at me, and he's all, get our band money? And I'm like, I got part of it. And he's like, what'd you do last night? I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't do anything.